What it is?
What's up?
What's up?
What it is? What's up?
What's up?
Got your nigga in the cup.
Goddamn.
What it is?
What-
What it is? What's up? Got your nigga in the cup.
Got your nigga in the
Got you in the club.
yeah, something like that. But you,
It's been in December. How's your December, bro? First of all,
it was good.
compliments
I
of
went
the
home.
season.
Yeah, compliments of the season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. All those nice things.
Still
to say.
December
Yeah.
ish.
Welcome to Unlearn, bro. We are back like home as people would say. And today we're going to talk about confrontation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's very important because men and confrontation. Yeah. So it's something that we definitely need to work on. And that is why, ladies would always talk about communication and all that stuff, So there's always better ways of dealing with
Confrontation.
And yeah. So Tiri, what do you have to say about confrontation?
I don't know. I think if anything, we must just let you guys know when we pick topics, we pick a topic and then we unpack it during the video, so it's not too scripted.
Yeah, we don't
My t-shirt is looking a little bit tight there.
think the music.
The music, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. But yeah, confrontation. I don't know, bro. First of all, have you been in any fights?
Me?
Yeah.
Yo, last time I fought grade 5? Yeah, 5.
And what
I
happened?
won my last fight.
What happened?
That's a problem right there.
Oh, yeah. that actually is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem right there. Okay, when I was young, primary school days, when everyone was like the same size and all, I was a bully. I was a bully. So I was making fun of this boy, right? Making fun of him and everything, and the boy just smacked me. So it triggered me to not obviously retaliate, but then that was the mindset then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I beat him up. So I'm not just a talker.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just talking.
Wow.
Talking nonsense.
See, that's the
But
problem.
no, I don't fight.
Yeah.
Look at me. Do I look like a fighter?
Bro, my
But
second last
even
fight
if-
was then, bro.
Really? Was what?
My second last fight was in grade 6.
Second last?
Yeah.
And you lost?
2018, December 2018.
Shit.
But you see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not proud of that fight either.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of the one in grade 6, though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was a 2v1. Like, these girls were bullying Jessie Clark McLeod. I remember all their names. I don't want to say the guys' names, but they were bullying this girl, Jessie Clark McLeod. And I called them a coward. Or I called the one a coward before first break. Then he said, I'm a coward. We'll see who's a coward after school. Then because they were in a clique, during second break, the friend comes and he says, I heard you call my friend a coward. And I said, yeah, you are. Then he said, well, if he's a coward, then are you calling me a coward too? Because I'm his friend and friends, what. And I was like, I mean, if the shoe fits. Then he told me we're going to both fight. And then, none of my friends wanted to fight with me because apparently we had to all be 95s to be part of the fight. Like, most when you're in primary school, like, some people are older, some people are younger, whatsoever. But now because we're in the same grade, but some of my friends were older, they said my friends can't help me, so there's a 2v1.
Oh, yes.
And I kicked them.
That's why I lost most of my fights when I was young. I'm friends with older people than me.
Yeah, hey, that's the problem also. But I mean, ish, bro.
So we'd fight and then afterwards get back, play with cars again, So it was one of those things with my childhood friends. So yeah. But anyway, with confrontation in general, especially the older you get, man, it should never get to a situation where you have to now physically fight or whatsoever. And for that matter, even when you do speak about it, there's always a better way of approaching things, So that's very important. There's a saying that I live by, I'm not one for saying fixed sayings. I don't like them because life in general, it's not as fixed as, like I'd say, there's no formula to life. So you can't give yourself something that's fixed. But this one says you choose how to react. As much as someone made you angry, yes, they made you angry, but your mother could do the exact same thing as some total stranger would do, but you'd act totally different because this one is your mother, and it's just to show that you choose how to react. So as men, we need to think about that, before you do anything, that might have consequences and all. You need to think, because you actually choose how to react more than what they did. Yeah, I heard they did this and that, but then you can always have a better approach to things.
I hear you.
And
I hear you, but at the same time, it's like I hear you. Listen, guys.
Yeah.
I hear you, but that's exactly why I had a fight 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Just for context, let me give you that context. So, what had happened was.
See, what had happened at first was. See, at first.
I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but I'm gonna tell the gist of it. Myself and my mate were having an argument, and the argument got to a point where, for at least about like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I'm talking to this man, and this man is shouting at me.
Yeah.
So Sharpo, eventually, we were at an Airbnb and we went outside, and by the time we got outside, that's the time that my car actually was in an accident. So I was relying on this man for transport,
Yeah.
So Sharpo, we get downstairs, this man is still shouting at me. So I got to a point where I said to him, okay, my brother, let me take my glasses off. I put my glasses safely aside, and I said, okay, if you wanna fight, then tell me you wanna fight, bro. But don't continue to shout at me and treat me like I'm not listening to you, because I'm a type of person that I have time to listen, bro.
Yeah.
If we talking, we arguing, whatever we arguing about, I have time to listen and argue. Like I'll always, especially if it's someone that I know, not someone that I don't, obviously, but if someone that I know, I have time to argue and listen and whatsoever. This man literally was like, nah, he doesn't want to fight. So I said, sure, open your car, let me get my stuff, and then you can go, and then I'll make my own way home. It's fine. It's not a problem. As I'm going to his car to go get my stuff, he goes to my glasses to step on them. Yeah, that's.
And then now you got into a situation.
And then I got into a situation
where you had to choose how to react.
I didn't choose how to react. See, the thing is how it happened, né? So, say Kushle is the man and I'm me. This is where my glasses are. This is where the car is.
Yeah.
Let me rather do this. We talking. I put my glasses off. Nah, here's the car. Then you say you don't want to fight. Me, I go to the car. Nah, okay, I don't know, this is funny. I go to the car. When I go to the car, you go to my glasses to step on them.
Yeah.
I hear you stepping on my glasses. So I walk towards them and I don't react first time out of, I don't know, rage or whatever. I literally say, I hope you didn't just step on my glasses. And then you say, well, they're broken now. Whoa. So, Sharpo, I hadn't seen them. But now, because I'm not wearing my glasses and it's nighttime, I still can't really see, but I can see. So, Sharpo, I looked down at the floor, the glasses stepped on, broken. So my first reaction was to go towards him and push him and be like, why did you do this, bro? Like, why did you do this? Like, I'm not trying to fight you, but why did you do this? I'm getting heated thinking about it. I think that's the problem. But also, so I pushed him and I was like, bro, why did you do this? And he had this, I don't know, bro. And I think maybe this is why we're having this conversation. He had this thing of, hey, bro, I did what I did.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And
that's
what started the fight. And afterwards, looking back at it, I am not proud of the fact that I did that. And I'm not proud of the fact that that's what now, like, like when I go home, my family is just like, yeah, you just like fighting. It's like, bro, my last fight before that was more than 10 years ago. Come on, like, I surely don't like fighting. But it's like, at the same time, I understand where you're coming from. And unfortunately, that's the problem about fights. the reason why you're fighting can make sense to you, but that's not what goes out into the world. That's not what sticks. What sticks is, oh, see, this was in a fight.
Yeah.
And that's the problem about confrontation, or dealing with confrontation in a way that is not I don't know. Reasonable, yeah. Hitting someone's child, guys, is never the answer. Never the answer. Like,
there's always a better way.
Yeah. Like maybe I should have gone to his mom rather, because I know his mom. So I could have went to his mom and said, "Hi, mom. Like,
your son here." Or for that matter, the fact that he's also a grown man, give him time to chill or whatsoever, and then talk to him.
Yeah.
And, like, those are, you need to talk. You know, it's so important. Like, that's one of the things that they teach us in the bush. Is finding you talk things through, you know, that it's very important, you know. So as a man, you just need to, and the way you go about it, you know, it's very important. It's very, very important.
Sorry, just thought about something. Sorry.
Yeah. People will be like, you know, I'm just a straightforward person, or people need to accept me the way I am. No, even if you're toxic, you need to change your ways, you know. There's always a better way. Yes, sometimes, you know, you may see things, you might try, you know, to be less offensive or whatsoever, but somehow that other person interprets it in a different way. Yes, that happens, but it's just a matter of even just how you say it. Also now would, what's this? How you say something, you know, would now seem some type of way to someone else. So yeah, that is the one thing that we need to learn as men. Or that must
That's exactly what I thought about when I was laughing just now.
Yeah, that's nonsense. That thing about must
Yeah, I like that line. I won't lie.
Yeah,
I like that line because it's straightforward. It's like, bro, let's just fight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't like that line because you're not supposed to be fighting with people.
Yeah, you can't embrace such nonsense, you know. There's so many people that say this to this day.
Yeah.
You know? So it's something that... Yeah, you know, like...
Because of people...
I've got a cousin who used to... I tend to say we like Timon and Pumbaa, you know, because I was a skinny one and he was a big one, and we were always together.
Oh, trust me, we knew which one you were.
Yeah. So, hey,
like,
man,
imagine Pumbaa. What would Timon look like?
Hey man, Pumbaa might be on the diet.
Oh,
but anyway, he was always the fighter, and fortunately now as he got older, so maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't get into fights, because he did the job, you know. But he's gotten better, you know. He just needs to now improve his communication. But what he does now, since he's one to quickly physically act, what he does now, he takes a step back. Like, he doesn't face the person, he'll leave the person because he knows that he's quick to, you know. So that's a better way. And then now he's starting to find ways of speaking about it, you know. Yes, some people may not be always able to talk about something at that moment, but at the end of the day, you need to talk about the issues that you're having. You know, men are abusive towards women because they can't communicate. You know, they communicate through, they say actions speak louder than words, but man, not those actions.
Yeah, I think also, you know, a part of it is like, we need to get to a point where we swallow our egos, you know. Because I think for me, the biggest problem with my fight in that instance was that I think my ego was like, okay, sure, like, I'm not gonna fight him, né? But then this guy's always gonna have that thing over me. But I stepped on your glasses and you did nothing.
Oh yeah. And now you with the ego playing part.
Yeah,
it's like you took an L.
Yeah. Because the thing also is that sometimes we rationalize it to say that, but it makes sense that we fought, you know. Because I literally, like, guys, if you know me, you know my glasses and me are like, I don't know what.
Hey, you have no choice.
Yeah, I have no choice. So if you break my glasses, I am
Stevie Wonder.
I'm mad.
Yeah,
I'm mad. So for the mere fact that I took my glasses down and all these things, I think because of ego, I notice the little efforts that I did to protect whatever I'm trying to protect. And as soon as you then damage what I'm trying to protect, it doesn't now fall onto damaged property. It falls onto stepping on my ego, stepping on my pride, stepping on my manhood. You understand what I mean? So I think if anything, we need to, in moments of anger, and that's why we're having this conversation, so that you have this conversation when you're clear-minded, so that if ever you have a time when you want to rage or whatsoever, you think about like this conversation to say, mind your ego, and mind your anger as well. Like I know that when I start getting angry, I speak fast. You know, I speak. I think it's one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I start speaking fast. Then I lose my words. I lose my placing. Then I know. Okay, see, so you need to.
And what I've
to just.
From what I've also seen on social media is that when one raises a point, and someone is against it, they would insult the person. How about you just improve your argument rather than insulting someone? So that is also a better way of facing the situation. Because now if you insult me, I'll end up forgetting what everything else that you think and end up focusing on you insulting me. So then we lose communication there already, and now we end up having this argument. So as men in general, we definitely need to deal with things better. Abusive relationships comes from these things as well. Confrontation. Now, in like with the ego thing, you taking it as if you're taking an L just because this one is dropping bars, they spitting facts on you. Now all of a sudden you have no other thing to say but to throw a punch or whatsoever, and which shouldn't be the case, or insult the person or whatsoever. So people need to be calm. I've got a friend, when he speaks, we're talking about it, he'd rather, if he's not certain or whatever, he'd keep quiet, until he gathers his thoughts or whatsoever. Gives you time to think. Fortunately, I've learned that from my father. He's very, very calm, right? So he's able to deal with situations. When I used to do things when I was wrong, like I was a child that did something wrong, that man would talk to me and it would hurt so much that I'd go sleep after that, So I never used to get hidings from him, He never. The last time I don't even remember the last time I got a hiding from my parents. It probably had to do with food, me not wanting to eat vegetables. But learning from that, it really does help for you to face confrontation, even as a parent, talking about being young and not getting hidings. It's just like, from there, I've learned how that there's always a better way of, instead of getting a hiding, how about you talk to your child, how about, because now that's what I've learned, maybe it's because I'm also skinny, so obviously, like, fighting wouldn't be the wise. Because you find that it's the big people that, they're quick to, but, we all need to work on it. Doesn't matter, big or small, whatever, especially as guys, we need to really find ways of improving our communication skills, it really helps a lot. And you need to also be in touch with your emotions first thing, so that you get to understand how exactly you're feeling. And then you'll be able to deal with something in a more reasonable way, because you know exactly how you're feeling and all those things. So and it's very important to express how you're feeling, don't try to be thug about it, that is the biggest problem, we try to
because you're not trying to say, bro, you're hurting my feelings right now.
Yes, and
like, bro, you're like,
and now you're suppressing all of that, and then it comes out in the most toxic way that you could
I think of. I think if anything, the conversation we're having last week was heated. Like, we're having a heated conversation. And I think the thing that helped that conversation also was the fact that our mate, like he said, if he doesn't have anything to say, he'll tell you, okay, I'm a little bit heated right now, I'm gonna calm down. And I think also for myself, what helped me in that conversation was the fact that I could tell him, like, bro, you're hurting my feelings by what you're saying. So if anything, he also chose his words much better. And what I've realized as well is that with my close group of friends, we fight a lot. Like we argue a lot. We have a lot of constructive arguments, but the reason that they're constructive is because the respect is still there and there's honesty and transparency.
Yeah.
You know, so I can tell you like, hey, this is how I feel, you tell me this is how you feel, and then that's that. You know, instead of it being I told you something, you disagreed, and then you didn't tell me that your feelings were hurt, and then next time I see you, I'm like, hey, yo, what's up? And then you just like, kinda you stepped on my shoes 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, so I think if anything, for any relationship to grow, there needs to actually be some sort of moral, personal dilemmas, and with those dilemmas, the way you deal with it shows the respect that you have for someone, and it shows that the relationship can grow. And I think that's the best way to deal with conflict. Definitely always talking. If you can't talk, I know for me, sometimes if I can't talk, I actually like to write. It takes a little bit longer, and I think it's a little bit frustrating for the person in front of me, because it's like, you're really writing right now? But for me, you know what I mean? But for me, it works because I don't like dealing with things later. I like to deal with things immediately. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, I think that's it for me for confrontation.
Yeah. And
Confrontation Friday.
Yeah. And just to add on to what you just said now, you know, with your friends, you argue a lot and everything. So that's something we should work on in terms of even dealing with strangers. You know, we need to work on that, you know, because that is why I said you choose how to act. You know, we act differently just because this one is your friend, you know, towards someone that's not your friend. You know, so it kind of builds your character, you know. And the one thing that I've learned that builds your character big time, integrity and all, is being able to admit when you're wrong in a confrontation. It solves a lot of problems. Sometimes I remember when we were having a debate, and it was just a matter of perspective, you know. So when you have an argument, a confrontation with someone, sometimes both of you guys are right. It's just that you're looking at it in a different angle, you know, or you're just focusing on this and this one is focusing on this. So it's a matter of understanding what exactly you guys are talking about, you know. And so it's very important to listen so that I know what you're talking about, and I'm able to now to be like, okay, in terms of what you're saying, like in relation to this, okay, I understand what you're saying, you know. And one needs to admit that people don't like to agree when they're wrong,
They don't. And I think one thing also, guys, or one of the last things, is that just because you're right doesn't mean that I'm wrong. And just because you're wrong doesn't mean that I'm right. We can both be wrong. You know what I mean? Like we can both be talking nonsense.
It's things are not black and white. You know, that is exactly why I believe in the yin yang, you know. In every good there's bad, and every bad there's good, you know. So it's just a matter of perspective. In every right there's wrong, in every wrong there's right, you know. So meaning that things are not just black and white. That's where the dot comes in. Those, you know, so it's just a matter of perspective and how to go about things. So men, you need to deal with things better. You know, you're gymming to look good, not to fight.
Yes, we are. We are gymming. Thank you.
Hey, you're speaking in plural now. But
hey, bro.
Yeah, it's not to fight, guys. We need to deal with things better. If ever you were to fight or whatsoever, it should be for protection more than anything. You know, it's not to prove a point or just because of an argument or whatsoever. Even we were talking about fighting, but besides fighting itself, even the things that you say, you need to be careful of what you say. You know, you need to think before you speak. It's very important. As men, you know, like improve. Like we need to improve, guys. It's 2020 now. Like, come on.
Yeah, and don't worry about sounding sensitive or gay or whatever. Like
whatever.
Just own yourself, own whoever you are, and communicate the way you
be
need.
in touch with the emotion.
Yeah. And also, guys, please do like, subscribe, share.
Yeah.
One thing that I realized from my channel there, and I'm gonna say it here, if you guys are watching the video, feel free to take a screenshot, tag on Instagram, tag me, tag him, tag us. You know, we will share it, because it's very difficult to keep track of like who's watching, who's subscribing, who's, you know. But if anything, we'd like to interact with you guys also, and then the more people that do that, the more input that we have as well, because then we can ask you guys certain questions like, what do you guys think about this and that and the other, and then if anything, you guys can also contribute to the following topics with regards to what we're going to be posting in the near future.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, we just also like to thank you for the previous videos that you've been watching. We really appreciate you guys. You know, there's a friend of mine, one of my closest friend, you know, he gave me a comment of what his father says. So even his father watching it, like, yo, that's what's up. What's up, daddy? So you'll probably be watching this as well. So yeah, it's just a matter of learning and unlearning, like we'd always say, you know. So if ever we also spoke nonsense, do a comment and tell us, no, chief, this is how to go about this thing, you know. So yeah, thank you very much, and see you next time on the next episode of Unlearn, bro. Bye.